What's up, everybody? Thank you for joining me for one more podcast on a prediction show for Impact Bound for Glory this weekend. Recording this on a Wednesday afternoon. Pay-per-view will be this Saturday. Sorry, we've got a very busy weekend for pay-per-views this weekend, though, as we do have Bound for Glory on Saturday night, and then WWE Hell in a Cell is on Sunday night. I will have a prediction show for Hell in a Cell, but in typical WWE fashion, I do have to wait a little while before I can do that because as of right now, there's only 4 matches on the card and they make changes all the time. And so realistically, I probably won't be able to get that until Friday night, Saturday morning. So be on the lookout for another review show here in the next couple of days. But to get into some Bound for Glory picks for again this Saturday. I am very, very excited for this card. I think there's a lot of really good matches that are on the card. You've got a lot of multi-person matches, and personally, I tend to like those a lot. Obviously, one-on-one matches are good. They build the business. They are the core of what you're doing. But I like the chaotic dynamic that can come with multi-person matches. So very excited for those. The storylines are really, really good. We'll obviously get into a little bit of the storyline stuff once we get into the specific matches, but I'm really, really excited for this card. I've been watching Impact for about 6-7 months now. I can't recall a card that I've been more excited for. And honestly, obviously, I don't know if that's because I'm still new to the company or if it's just because this card is that good. But either way, very excited for this card. So we'll go ahead and get into predictions right away here. First match that we will cover here is the Call Your Shot Gauntlet. There's a couple of different little fun storylines going on here. The overarching one is that obviously the winner of this match gets a chance to, as it says, call their shot and pick a title, and then they get a chance to have a title match and for whatever title they want. There are some names that are not released yet, so there's the TBA here that is at play. But storyline also, you have Hernandez, who won a match that got him to be the last person to enter the match. There's also a storyline running where Heath and Rhino are involved, where their contracts are kind of at stake. Heath has been without a contract this whole time, being an Impact since showing up at Slammiversary. And he's basically been trying to earn a contract. Got into it with Scott D'Amore about the amount of the contract, and it's kind of been a back and forth there. Rhino, unbeknownst to Heath, went to Scott D'Amore and basically said, if one of us wins, Heath gets a contract, but if neither one of us wins, then I'm gone and Heath doesn't get his contract. So Rhino basically is putting his own job on the line for his friend. This has been a really, really well paced and written story. I'm very, very excited for this. And they've done it in a good way where when they first brought Heath in and they started pairing him with Rhino, I said, oh, are you really going to do the WWE thing again? And they swerved us a little bit with it where they even kind of got into some arguments. And this is going to come to a kind of final culmination where either they both have a job together or neither of them has a job. And I'm really, really excited for what this looks like. Also, with it being you can pick any title, I think that leaves some unique things up here. So I don't necessarily know if Heath and Rhino, if either one of them wins, I could see them both not winning, and then they find some way to bring them back in or something. Because again, it's a TV show. As long as you write it to make sense, you can kind of do what you want. So I won't be surprised if they don't win, because then Heath would be told, hey, Rhino just lost his job for you. And then there's obviously still a story there. So I don't think they necessarily need to win, but given the stakes, they do need to win. I do think that it would be kind of fun if they had one of these TBAs be someone who returns, and there is a title out there that they have been teasing that if you are really choosing any title you want, this could be a way to do this, where they have discussed bringing back the Knockouts Tag Division titles. I think it would be very cool if you had somebody win this match and say, I want these titles brought back and I want a shot at them. So if they did something like that, I would really, really like that. But if I'm making kind of that final prediction, I would say that Heath wins the match, but he doesn't realize that he just saved Rhino's job. And then you've got kind of a cool moment there. So of all of the options that are there, given what the storyline is, I am going to pick Heath because I want him to have his job because, you know, he's got kids, but I can see them going a lot of different ways here. And I am very, very excited for what this match is going to end up being. We have Eddie Edwards and Ken Shamrock. Shamrock will obviously have Sami Callihan in his corner. This is a match where I'm kind of like, all right, this is a good kind of fill. The story has been okay. This is probably the match that I'm least excited about. They've kind of built it over the last couple of weeks, but to me, this is a match that would have been just fine on TV. In fact, we basically got that a little while ago too. So I can see Sami doing something where it distracts and Shamrock gets the win. But I am going to go with Eddie Edwards to win this one. Obviously, him being a former champion, you want to kind of keep him strong. But I really can see them going either way here. So I'm going to go with Edwards, but it will not surprise me if Callihan costs him the win and Shamrock takes it. I'm very excited for this next match because there's so much unknown to it. And I've been such a big fan of EC3 being involved in Impact and the character that he's running. He hasn't had a whole lot of matches in Impact, but he's been very influential in how the shows have been going. This match that he has with Moose at an undisclosed location for the TNA title, I've really, really liked how this has gone. For months, Moose has been pushing this title that even Scott D'Amore has said, this isn't a real title. I don't care what's happening. When Moose was dealing with EC3's issues and stuff, but Moose has had this title all this time, and now it's kind of, is it really his title? Because EC3 has stolen it from him a couple times. They've had some interactions back and forth. So this will really be a fun kind of next step in this. I'm very, very excited for this. The fact that it's at an undisclosed location, it always adds a little bit of intrigue because that also kind of makes us think that this isn't going to be a regular match. So very excited for this. I think the control your narrative thing needs to continue. And I know EC3 doesn't have a contract with Impact, but this is also a title that Impact is technically not even acknowledging. So I don't think there's any issue if you're putting a belt on someone who doesn't even work for you, because in story, this title isn't even a title you're actually doing. So for that reason, I think EC3 takes it. He, as he says, burns the title to the ground. And I'm very curious to see where they go with this next, but I do think EC3 takes this. But again, very excited for what we have here. We have a 6-way scramble match for the X Division title. We've got Chris Bay, Trey Miguel. We've got your champion, Rohit Raju. We got TJP, Jordan Grace adding the intergender layer to this match. And then, of course, Willie Mack as well. So you've got a lot of former X Division champs here. 6-person matches, rather, tend to be very, very chaotic. I'm guessing we're going to see a lot of big, crazy spots here. I'm guessing we're going to see a lot of athleticism mixed with some good power, because you do have that balance between people like Chris Bay and Trey Miguel and TJP, who are very, very agile aerial people. Jordan Grace and Willie Mack both have, their power, though Willie Mack is very, very athletic as well. And then obviously you have your champion, who has been kind of dodging a lot of people lately. So in a six-person match, you can see him maybe kind of steering his way out of the match, trying to avoid some contact, and then obviously getting mixed in here and there. I think given the chaotic nature, this opens you up to a lot more unique finishes. It opens you up to a lot more unique spots. So very excited for this match, but I am going to go with a little bit of to me, it's not a shocker, but what should end up being a shocker to kind of a lot of people given the way this match is set up. I'm going to actually pick Jordynne Grace to take the X Division title. We saw them put the Impact title on Tessa Blanchard before, so we know the intergender thing, even to the level of a title, isn't something that they're afraid of. I don't really see Jordynne Grace getting back into the knockouts title picture because she had the title, she lost it, she lost a rematch, but I think she's got a unique style to her where with some of these smaller people who tend to be more involved in the Impact X Division title, I think she can kind of fit with some of those smaller men and still have some really, really good matches. I am a little surprised to see that she's in this because she did do an interview last year where she had mentioned, or it wasn't last year, it was earlier this year, where she had mentioned she probably wouldn't do a whole lot of intergender stuff in the future, but obviously that has changed. So I'm going to actually go with Jordynne Grace to win this title, and I really hope that she does because I really would like to see her with a title on her because she is very, very entertaining. Knockouts title between Deonna Purrazzo and Kylie Rae. This match has been building for a long time. I'm very, very excited for this one as well. Deonna Purrazzo has done a really good job of being the champion since coming in. They put the belt on her without a contract, and then obviously she has gotten a contract since then. Kylie Rae has been really kind of pushing this whole deal with Susie, and that's gotten very emotional. But Deonna's pushed this whole idea of I'm not being emotional, I'm being the best. And she basically came out and said, I understand that the title being on me is a big responsibility. They've really built this really well. I think Deonna does retain her title though, but Kylie's been building very, very strong. And I mean, she left AEW to come to Impact basically. And I think Impact recognizes that too, and they wanted to build it right. But I do think that Deonna takes and retains her title. I don't think she's done yet, but very excited for this match as well. A fatal four-way tag team title match between Ace Austin and Madman Fulton. The tag champions, the Motor City Machine Guns, being from Michigan, they're always kind of that hometown favorite for me. But they also are going to take on the Good Brothers, and they're going to take on the North. Now, as I mentioned, being from Michigan, just like the Motor City Machine Guns, I would love to see them retain. But again, these multi-person, multi-team matches tend to have a little bit of chaotic finishes to them sometimes. We did see Ace Austin and Madman Fulton look pretty good recently, even with a pin coming in. One of the recent matches that these guys all had with each other. They've built this pretty well to where you had two separate stories between the North and the Motor City Machine Guns, and then the Good Brothers and Ace Austin and Madman Fulton. You had these two different kind of storylines that basically collided here because these are all good tag teams and they all want to be the champion. And basically, as soon as the Good Brothers thought they had kind of rid themselves of Ace Austin and Madman Fulton and set their sights on the tag titles, no. Fulton and Austin are still there, and they're still going for this, and they're still going for this rivalry. And then now you can involve tag titles. I really like how this has been built. They did a fatal four-way with one person from each team a couple weeks ago on Impact's weekly show. That was really entertaining. I thought they did a really good job with this. These are 8 guys that get it, and they know how to put together a good match. I'm very, very excited for all the insanity that will be an 8-person match that has partners involved. So I'm going to actually predict an upset because I think this is a way to get a team kind of over more than they have been. I'm going to actually predict that Ace Austin and Madman Fulton take the tag titles because then they pretty much hate everybody or everybody pretty much hates them. You're going to have a lot of competition, everyone kind of chasing after them. But I think Ace Austin has said it himself. He is kind of that next generation's big talent. And I think putting a big target on him now is a good idea. I would hope the Machine Guns can retain, but they have had the titles for a little while now. and I know I just mentioned that Deonna Purrazzo's reign isn't long enough. It's actually a little bit longer than what these guys have had. But I do think that given the chaotic nature of what this division looks like right now, I think it is okay to make that move. So I would love to see the Machine Guns retain, but I do think that Fulton and Austin are going to take these titles on Saturday. Last match that we'll talk about is the last match on the card, obviously. You have your Impact World Championship between Eric Young and Rich Swann. This has been building since they both returned at Slammiversary. This match is really well built, given that we haven't really even seen them a whole lot as far as them interacting with each other. Obviously, we've seen Eric Young defending the title a lot. He's had a lot of big spots, including some spots where he's pretty much destroying Rich Swann. So, but again, this all started when they both returned at Slammiversary, and Eric Young lost the title match when Eddie Edwards had won it, and then Young goes and he takes the title away from Edwards. And this all stems from a post-match attack that he had done on Rich Swann when they returned. So there's so many layers to this story. This has been really, really good. But I think given the way that this has been going, I don't see Rich Swann winning this match, although that would be one of those big, hooray moments because, the sympathy that Swann will have because he has been brutally attacked over and over again. But I don't think that they're ready to take the title off of Eric Young yet. So I do think that we see Rich Swann lose this match and Eric Young retain. So again, I think this is going to be a very brutal, violent match. I think we're going to see some very kind of, oh my goodness type of spots where it gets pretty brutal, it gets pretty violent. But I do think that these guys are going to put on a really good match. I think this will be very, very fun. But so a 7-match card on Saturday night with a lot of people involved. Very, very excited for this. So I want to encourage everybody to check it out. And as we wrap things up, just a reminder, you are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter or on Instagram at AngryBeaver1127, as it is in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Maybe give me a subscribe. And then when I post that video for Hell in a Cell this weekend for WWE, once that match card is a little bit more developed, you'll get the notification that, hey, there's another one of these. So the thumbs up are appreciated. The subscribes are appreciated. And again, if you ever want to talk with me about wrestling things, feel free to hit me up on either Twitter or Instagram at AngryBeaver1127. And thank you for watching. But until next time, we are out.